that toxic chemicals create when we use them or when they are in our environment. The first is carcinogenicity. So I'm sure, of course, you've heard of carcinogenic chemicals before. When we're exposed to them, they tend to create the root of cancerous tumors in our bodies. Cancer is not a natural thing. So usually when you have cancer, it's some environmental factor that is causing it. And then because your immunity is low, then it becomes susceptible to cancer. The second is endocrine disruption. So there are chemicals that act like hormones when they get into our bodies. So they interfere with our hormonal system. So hormones are really important in the body, as everybody knows. So a hormone like estrogen, for example, I'm sure we've all heard, is like a reproductive or hormone of females. What happens when you take or are exposed to chemicals like phthalates that acts like estrogen is that you start to see children with earlier onset puberty. So you have like 6-year-old children that are already becoming mature. Or you have people becoming infertile as they get older to realize that they're infertile. So these are they're not natural. They are mutations that are caused because of the synthetic chemicals that we're exposed to. It's not just women, it applies to men as well. You can have infertility, impotence, all kinds of things. Basically because the hormones that are supposed to be working in the bodies are being interfered with. So we've covered two. The third is allergens. So sometimes when you spray insecticide in your house, for example, and you can't stay in the same room, like you start to cough, you start to sneeze, those things are exactly. If you have asthma, you can't even do that. You can't go near insecticides. Those things fall under allergenic reactions. They also fall under the fourth thing, which is irritation. So it depends on your level of sensitivity. It could be a mild irritation, or it could actually be an allergic reaction. Sometimes you can get rashes, or you have breathing difficulties that last very long. And then the fifth is neurotoxins. So neurotoxin is a substance that gets into the blood and then interferes with brain development when it gets to your brain cell. So typically where you see this effect is in pregnant women. The neurotoxin goes from the mother to the baby through the placenta and then it interferes with brain development. So in countries where they have high levels of contamination, neurotoxin in their water and in their agricultural land, you see children developing high rates of ADHD and other cognitive and brain disorders as they grow up. So it's actually a very clear link. So those are the 5 reasons why we need to avoid these chemicals. So where do we find them to begin with, right? So I mentioned before, they're in plastics, they're in consumer products. It's very difficult to say this is a product or this is a class of product that does not contain these chemicals because they are used everywhere, and it's even difficult to tell when they are in the product. On, let's say, for example, Morning Fresh or on a deodorant, you'll see something called fragrances or parfum, usually called parfum or fragrances. Sometimes they will have something called colorants or coloring agents. Those things are classifications, and there are thousands of chemicals that fall under this classification. The manufacturer is not required to put it on the packaging because they're in small amounts. But these chemicals are synthetic chemicals.